Hello, my name's Les from Retired and Living the Dream, and today's video is I'm gonna have an interview with Bart, the guy from International Living magazine. So we're going to ask various questions, and as I say, we'll start off with Bart and his explanation about the International Living magazine.
All right, thanks, Les. Thanks for having me. It's your nice house over here in Maypim. Again, I'm Bart Walters. I'm from International Living. I'm the Thailand correspondent. And I was commissioned by International Living to find some hidden places that might be nice place to live. Mm. So I live in Pattaya or Jomtien Beach, about an hour from here, and I know about Rayong, so I came over and checked it out. And I had been watching your YouTube videos, and I realized that let me go over there and connect with that guy. International Living, the magazine that I work for, has been around a little over 40 years, between 40 and 50 years, and I've always been the premier magazine for folks in North America that looking for somewhere else to go. And we're all over the world, but we came over here to find a little bit of a hidden gem here in Rayong, and I certainly found that. Les, tell me about where you're from and how you got to be here in Thailand and why you chose Rayong.
Okay, originally from the UK. I retired in 2010, travelled the world for 2 years. And then my Chinese girl, or my Chinese wife at the time, decided she didn't want to travel anymore. And so we sort of parted company. So I came to Thailand in 2012, and I've been here ever since. I've travelled all over Thailand looking for various places to live. And I discovered Rayong totally by accident. I had a girlfriend at the time. She said about visiting a friend in Rayong. And she said, her friend was married to an English guy, so I could have a conversation with him. And as far as living in Rayong was concerned, I never give it a second thought, because Rayong sort of isn't on the tourist map as opposed to Krabi, Phuket and Koh Samui and things like that. So when I came to Rayong, I came here for 2 weeks, and I've been here for 10 years.
Wow, that's a beautiful story. So you wanted to get out of the tourist zone, but you still like the palm trees and the coconuts and all of that. What's the cost of living like compared to some of those touristy places you were in?
Oh, I've got to say, the cost of living in Rayong is normal. If you live in a tourist location, you pay extra for accommodation, you pay extra for food, you pay extra because you're living in the tourist location. Here in Rayong, I've got beautiful beaches, I've got the palm trees, I've got beautiful warm seas, I've got Koh Samui, which is on our doorstep 30 minutes from where I live. So in reality, I pay down-to-earth prices for the accommodation, for food, restaurants, but I live in amongst stunningly beautiful countryside and scenery for half the price.
Yeah, I can say we can hear the birds in the background out here. It's really beautiful. So what kind of question do you have for me? What do your viewers want to know?
Okay, International Living. I've looked at your magazine, and it virtually covers all the way around the world. It gives. I like your expression earlier on. We were talking on off camera, and they have a boots on the ground attitude.
Yeah.
So the magazine talks to the people who actually live in there on the ground, and not just a 2-week holiday.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's probably the unique selling proposition of our magazine, is you're starting to see popularity of people. We had some political events in the U.S. that about half of the Americans couldn't get far enough away from the U.S. right about now. So the idea of living outside the North America has become popular to the point where you're starting to see it in the Wall Street Journal and Forbes magazine. But what makes our magazine unique is we've been doing it a long time, and we have people like me that have boots on the ground and actually living in places, not just passing through on getting a T-shirt and eating some spicy food and saying I've done Thailand. So that's the beauty of our magazine, and this new idea that our editors have come up with, the hidden places idea, I think is cool, because everybody knows about Bangkok and Phuket and places like that, but a place like Rayong is probably more paradise than any of those places, and nobody knows about it. So I really I like working with them, and it's also cool to get out and come meet people like you and do fun stuff like this.
So how many readers do you have in your magazine, or subscribers?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I remember in the time it was 400,000 or 500,000 years ago. It's hard. You can't really gauge it because now readership involves a lot of online stuff, right? So if you go to the website, it's very deep.
Yeah.
You can just get the free portion of it. You see articles, some of them I've written from everywhere on the front page. But as a subscriber base, there's all kinds of levels. You get the full magazine, you can get the platinum circle. There's all kinds of great books and guides that you can buy for just about anywhere in the world. The hard part is deciding where to go. And again, it's Southeast Asia's been not such a big focus for years because it's a long way. You can't go any further without starting to come back. However, these days it's become quite popular. I mean, Bangkok was the #1 most visited city in the world last year, 32 million people.
Yeah.
So we're not that far from Bangkok here. So, I mean, it's getting popular. You have the White Lotus that's on HBO right now, so we're getting a little press over here, and we're seeing a few more Americans show up on the doorstep.
So would you say America's going through the same political uneasiness as like the UK, and everybody's sick of actually what's going on? They've got to think there's got to be more to life than, especially for retired people.
Well, yeah, especially for retired people. I always like to say, I voted with my feet in 1999. I had already had enough. I didn't wait. I voted with my feet, and I said, you know what? My U.S. passport allows me to live in just about any country I would want to live in the world. And so I got on that plane and did it. And, the stress relief is fantastic.
I definitely agree with that, yes. Again, during my living in the UK, it was just like worried about the mortgage, worried about the electricity, the gas, all the utility bills. We have an expression in the UK, robbing Peter to pay Paul. So, if you can't pay this, you'll put it off until next month, and you'll pay that, and you'll put something else off. I've got to say, living in Thailand, and I live on much less money than I used to earn in the UK, I never ever worry about the utility bills. Everyday living, going out for a meal, you don't even think twice about it here. It's just so affordable.
Yeah, it's so refreshing, isn't it? Yeah. And especially, as you said, with the retired, people living on a budget, and inflation has just, escalated to the point where the last time I was in the U.S., when food seems too expensive, it's gone too far.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons. Food's cheap here.
Food is cheap here. Eating out in restaurants is truly good value for money.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question about, I know that you've, since living over here, since you retired, that you've had a lot of different enterprises that you've been involved in to add to your pension income. What kind of things have you made money doing over here, and what didn't work?
Well, there's plenty of things that didn't work. Again, I did a video about making money in Thailand, because some people come here on the budget, everybody's looking at making money type of thing. I do my YouTube videos, and fully enough, I got a thing off YouTube, welcome to your 6th anniversary birthday of doing YouTube for 6 years. I thought I was only doing it for 4 years, but apparently I've been doing it for 6 years. Money-wise, about $150 a month, so it's not a lot of money on YouTube. So those gurus who say make a fortune on YouTube, it's not going to happen. I opened an Etsy store selling cards, selling merchandise over here. None of it worked. Doing other things, I do a service where for $10 you can come and have a chat with me, and I'll tell you how to move over to Thailand, how you get your visa and something like that. That's not a way of making money. $10, whether it lasts for an hour or whether it lasts for 3 hours, it's $10. But I don't do it for the money, really. But trying to make money in Thailand is very, very difficult. How to be a millionaire in Thailand is always a good one. Start off with 2 and you'll end up with 1.
Well, let me ask you, I know you have a lot of people contact you to help out with different, problems they might have or questions that they might have about coming to Thailand. What's the number one thing? What's the big questions that people are most concerned about?
Just lately it's been taxes. Everybody's asking about tax. At the minute in Thailand, even though today's the last day where you have to have your tax paid, March the 31st, it still hasn't been written in stone as to exactly what you have to do. So taxes, but I'm not a tax expert. Even the tax experts get it wrong. And I was in 2 tax offices the other day on Friday. One tax official said I have to pay tax and the other tax official said I didn't. And these are the Thai tax officials. Second one's visas. At the minute, visas, Thailand at the minute is shooting themselves in the foot because they want the tourists, they want the expats to come live here, but with the tax issues, with the visa issues, trying to even open a bank now is virtually impossible.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well because they're fighting on 2 fronts. On the one hand, they'd really like to get digital nomads and people bringing money into the country. But on the other hand, they've got all kinds of, they're at war with, these illegal gambling online and people coming from other countries to set up a business, from China, from Russia. So they've had to really put a stranglehold on a lot of the banking system and making sure everybody's legitimate. But still, when it comes to the visas, they rarely restrict them more. They just make more of them. And also, I think we said this off camera, is you have to recognize that Thailand competes with all the other countries in this region to get valuable foreigners in, and the last thing they want to do is to pass a law that says, oh, well, you got to pay tax in Thailand, I'm moving to Cambodia.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of that going on. You and I both know that a lot of times they rattle the sword on a law, wait for the blowback, and they go, yeah, we're not going to do that.
But it's like what you said earlier on. You voted with your feet when you left America. And it's the same thing in Thailand. If they put too many restrictions on here, people will vote with their feet and go to Vietnam, Cambodia or Laos, where they don't have these restrictions. So Thailand, I think they need to stop the knee-jerk reaction and trying to get money. Every country needs money, I know, but they're frightening the people that pay the money here.
Yeah, that's a fact. Now, I know that the last 2 videos I saw of yours were really interesting. Were about assisted living. And a lot of our readership has been asking us about, what levels do they have assisted living? Is it affordable? Is it widespread? And I know you've done a bit of investigation. Tell me what you found out about the assisted living availability here in Thailand.
Yeah, like you said, I've done 2 videos with regard to assisted living. Assisted living over here is much, much more affordable than it is in any of the Western countries. What you'd pay for a week in the UK, you could live in an assisted living complex for a month for what you'd pay for a week. And again, the sheer standard and the care and the staff ratio to the clients, if you like, is much more better than it is in the UK. And I've been told also in America and Australia, people are amazed at the cost of actually care over here. You can get a fully qualified nurse living here in your own home for 24 hours a day for 40,000 baht, which is just short of £1,000, maybe $1,200.
Yeah.
So it's very, very affordable. Just to have a cook, a cleaner, just to come help out for 8 hours a day, between 8 and 15,000. So £400 or £500 a month to get somebody 7 days a week to help out.
Right, and now you looked at a couple of places over in Hua Hin, across the bay, and how did you find those facilities? Did you think they were high quality? Do you think in terms of the build and the service and all of that, were they high quality?
Yeah, I would say very much so, but there's sort of 2 niches. There's one that I'm looking at, it's aimed at the low budget, if you like, low budget, but you still get a high quality. A 3-bedroom house for 3.5 million compared to a house in the higher end for 10.5 million. So there's a huge difference, but also there's a huge difference in cost as well. But even for the budget accommodation, you know, for less than £1,000 a month, you can get, you know, quality care, 24-hour nurse care with a clubhouse, swimming pool, etc., etc. Far, far better than you can in your home country.
Yeah, that's cool. That's what I would have imagined. How have you found the healthcare in general here, from the hospital, beyond assisted living? What's your opinion of the healthcare here in Thailand?
Thankfully, I haven't had much to deal with healthcare, and I think everybody's scared of that in case, you know, because it costs at the end of the day. Medical costs, if you go to the Bangkok hospital, it's going to be very, very expensive. But if you go to the public hospitals, for me, a doctor is a doctor whether they work in a public hospital or a private hospital. The care is just the same, but you pay a quarter of the cost. Several people that I know that have actually been in the hospitals and that praise the public hospital, you know, for the care and attention that you get. And if you want your private room, even in a public hospital, you pay a little bit more, but it's still a lot cheaper than living in or going to a Bangkok hospital, which is the top hospital without a doubt, but you pay 4 times for the same treatment.
Yeah, and even they are cheaper than it would be back home.
Well, it's different to America because we have NHS.
Oh, that's right.
So basically our medical treatment is free, as opposed to yours in America.
Yeah. Well, here my experience has been, it doesn't matter if you're getting your teeth cleaned or you're having your hip replaced. It's about a third of what it would cost in the U.S. Across the board. Yeah. But health insurance is also pretty reasonable here.
Yeah. I mean, I've just had a crown on the dentist, 12,000 baht, which is about £260. In England, if you could get to see an NHS dentist, it'd still be about £600 or £700. So it's dentist treatment in Thailand isn't prohibitively expensive like it is in the UK.
I had a wisdom tooth out for 1,300 baht, which is about $30.
Yeah.
That's how much the parking at my dentist would cost at the U.S. So, all right, that's cool. Well, do you have any other questions for me?
I'll put your information for your magazine in the link below, and I'll also put it at the bottom of the screen so people can go on to the link and then find out all the information that they want.
And you can always look up Les on Retired and Living the Dream here in beautiful Mae Pim. Let me ask you one more question before we go, Les. People are seeing all the pictures, and I'm writing a couple articles about this place. If I ask you, who is this place for? What kind of foreigners, or what kind of expats would fit in the best or might enjoy life here in Rayong, especially out here in Mae Pim?
Yeah.
Who would enjoy it the most? Who would get the most out of it?
I would say, as a single guy, Rayong isn't your location. Go and find the girl, get married, then come to Rayong. Because if you're a single guy over here, unless you like the quiet life or solitude life, then it's not the place to be. Retiring couples, you know, like Westerners, it's a beautiful place to live. So Westerners who want to come and live over here, or a single guy, once you've got your girlfriend or your wife, that is the category I would say. There is no sort of an adult entertainment, if you like, for a single guy here. And I have had some single guys here who said it's boring here. But I also say to people, you need transport. If you've got, it's a semi-rural location, so transport is essential. Whereas if you live in the Jomtien and Pattaya area, you can do without a car, that's for sure, because bar buses are so cheap, and grab taxis, and it's just so cheap to get around there. But here, it's totally different.
Yeah, this is one thing. It's hard to describe this place because you seem semi-rural, because you're among mangrove groves and durian farms and rubber tree plantations, and then suddenly there's a cluster of nice houses or a cool condo. So it's kind of an unusual mix. But you're right, you do need transportation, and you need to take a trip to Pattaya or Bangkok every couple of weeks if you were a single guy, because it's kind of sleepy around here.
Yeah.
All right, well, I appreciate that answer, Les, and I appreciate you talking to me today. It's been great to come back out here, and I like this place even more. So, international living people, This is Les. Find his YouTube channel, and you can stay in touch with what's happening here in Thailand, and especially on some key subjects like assisted living. So, living the dream.
Boots on the ground. This guy can tell you exactly what it's like because he's boots on the ground, and that's what I like about the magazine.
All right.
So thanks very much for joining. Look forward to the next time.
Thanks, Les. Cheers.